Good evening, everyone. I'm just waiting for everyone to come on into the live. Good evening, everyone. I'm just waiting for everyone to come on into the live.
It's not fine. Just play games with my
Hmm? Good evening, everyone. This is your talk show host, Shane. I'm here with Coffee Talk. I'm just going to wait for some more to come on. Good evening, everyone. Two more minutes, and I believe it's 7 o'clock. Going live on all major platforms. So we should be airing on all platforms. We are live.
7 o'clock.
Off on charger.
It's not plugged up. It's supposed to be plugged up.
Seven o'clock. Good evening, everyone. We're going live. If you cannot catch the live, go live now up here. Good evening, everyone. We are live. I'm your talk show host, Shane, and this is our podcast, our weekly podcast, Coffee Talk. Here we discuss issues that go on in the community. We discuss trending topics. We discuss healing topics. We discuss food topics. We discuss all topics. So I am live on Facebook on all my platforms. I am live and premiering on my YouTube channel. For those of you that have not subscribed, Emerald Empire, you can go on YouTube. You subscribe. Also, I'm on Spotify. So if you cannot catch the live, you're going to catch it some way or another. Again, welcome, TikTok land. I'm on all major platforms. Those of you that are logging in, I am your host again, Shane. This is Coffee Talk, weekly show. We air on Fridays. We will begin to increase. I'm getting great feedback, so we will start to increase with the shows. Thank you, everyone, for logging on. Again, if you cannot catch the live stream on today, it will continue to be posted on all major platforms. And here, again, we discuss weekly issues, topics in the community that affects us as people. It's a podcast, so we speak about everything. So I'm trying to wait for some more to come on. Thank you. Come on and log on.
People on. It's fine.
Okay. So again, thank you everyone for logging on. So today we have some trending topics that's in the media that I do want to speak about really briefly. Let me see if I can share the screen. If not, we were speaking about the R&B singer Jesse Powell. He passed away on the 14th, I believe. He was only 51. He passed away in his LA home. According to his family members, there is no understanding of what caused the death. as of right now, but we know that Jesse Powell, the 90s R&B singer, if you remember, what is the song You? It was played at a lot of weddings and gatherings. He had some other songs, not a lot, but he passed away again at the age of 51, died in his LA home, according to his family members. So we're going to send some love and healing and comfort to him and his family at this time. I'm not sure if he was married or if he have any friends, family, loved ones, immediate family, but we are going to definitely keep him and his family in prayers. So as you begin to log on, I thank you all for chiming on. Again, this is Coffee Talk. We air every Friday at 7 p.m. I'm trying to get the views up. We are live on TikTok. We are live on Facebook, on all the Facebook groups, and I am definitely live on my YouTube channel. So if you do miss the live tonight, you have a chance to catch up. Also, I am on Spotify. So another trending topic that's in the media, of course, we know Queen Elizabeth her funeral was on this week. I think everybody's seen the clip of the guard that passed out. I don't know if he didn't eat. I don't know if it was just an exhausted day. But I believe, I'm not sure when, I think it was the 15th she had the funeral. And so from what I'm seeing on the media right now is that like the United Kingdom is on like they're mourning the whole United Kingdom, where they're stopping any doctor's appointments that they might have. Everything is being postponed. It's like the whole country as a whole is going through the steps of her loss. She was, again, 98 years old. So she lived a full and long life. So so that was that. On the 15th, they did go ahead and go through the burial, and the funeral was on live on the internet. And those of you who caught it. If not, you can go find it on the media. Those are my trending topics for right now. So last week we had discussed, and we began with some topics about our healing. Could you get the purple construction paper? I'm sorry, we are live, and I do have my assistant here. We begin, sorry, our healing. This is a platform that also specializes in healing, and we are all on this wonderful healing journey. And last week I gave some definitions and some affirmations. I gave different examples of what our healing process as a collective would look like, why we are on this healing journey, what led up to this whole what we call living journey, and I want to continue with that. I've had great feedback since then, from last week on to this week, and so we spoke about last week self-help and self-healing, and holding on to grudges and mood swings and self-transformation. Just are different terms that we did define, we went in depth with on last week. So I'm just giving you a summary of what exactly where we are at. So right now, again, we are on live on all platforms. So tonight I wanted to discuss, since we are on this and I'm continuing to do the work myself, and this week was a long week. I had great discussion with some. I am a traveling CNA. I work in the hospital. I work in the nursing home. So we've had great dialogue on two topics that we're going to bring forth tonight. One being boundaries. We're going to start off with that. Boundaries. What exactly are boundaries? What exactly are healthy boundaries? What does that look like? Who is required to do this? When to know how to not overstep or step over someone's boundaries. So again, boundaries in my form, in a way that I explain it in my definitions, is this invisible line that I have wrapped around myself. It look like a fence in my eyes. This is my visualization. I'm more of a visual person, more than written person. Or audio. I need visual. So it's this invisible line that's around me, and people, places, and things. Growing up now and maturing at the age that I am at, you are not allowed to cross, step over, walk onto this invisible gated line around me, because at all costs I'm here to protect my peace. At all costs I cannot have someone cross over this fence, and if they cross over and their energy and their intent is not good, it will cause harm, havoc, or any type of mental stagnation with me. Now, why do I use these terms? Because these things take place when it pertains to what we call boundaries. Now, in my term, that's what it looks like, and that's my definition. It's this invisible fence around me, and every people, places, and things are not allowed to cross over it. And if they do cross over it, and it's something that I do not like, or you're going against anything that I do not like, I have a right to remove myself. I have a right to speak to you about crossing these beautiful boundaries that's causing me either harm or danger, or I have a right not to speak to you. Now, some people say you can't just cut people straight off without giving them an explanation on why they're doing these things, or you can't just stop talking to people, because some people don't even understand or never grew up around what is considered boundaries. Now, because we are on this wonderful healing journey and we are learning new things about us, and we're evolving as women and men, and and your whatever your perspective place is, we are learning healthy living. We are learning ways to, again, like I stated before, be our very best us. Now, when it comes to what a healthy boundary is to me, healthy boundaries is if I may have, and we've all done it, unknowingly, I may have said something or did something to offend someone, or I may have stepped out of character, out of line to do something that brought any hurt, harm to someone else, or a dislike or distaste to someone else. If you're able to catch yourself or see what you might have done wrong, I would advise that you do go back to that person and you say, listen, I apologize for X, Y, Z. You do your part. Now, if the person does not take your or accept your apologies, that's on them. This is coming from me. Again, this is Live Coffee Talk. This is our weekly podcast. You're more than welcome to do Q&A and voice your opinion respectfully in the chat, and I can answer as it comes up. I'll be able to answer you. You can go ahead and chime on and give me your feedback on it. But yes, healthy boundaries. Crossing. We're doing unhealthy right now. So we're crossing someone or doing something that can offend someone. Going into someone's space or sacred space or area, or causing chaos in somebody's life for absolutely no reason. Overstepping boundaries. And what do I mean by that? Well, sometimes this is just dialogue that I have with my coworkers on this week. If you live with someone and you and that person have separate rooms or this, that, and the third, you take it upon yourself. Now, two adults, I'm not saying children because children do not pay rent. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as an adult and an adult perspective, adult outlook. I might have eaten something that belonged to you in the refrigerator. I might have walked through a door without announcing myself. I may have made a phone call that could cause you some harm because I decided to take matters in my own. We have so many scenarios that we can speak about that we wind up crossing someone else's boundaries. The way that you handle these things is, for me, there's different ways. I said you can either walk away from it, you can address the person that did do that respectfully, or I don't believe in getting people back for what they did, because I just think the Most High would get them back. But you can tell the person or address it and say, listen, you might have done something to me that might have offended me, or you had no right going into my space and doing X, Y, and Z. Now, even when it comes down, because it's one of the questions that was asked, what about your adult children? Yes, adult children can cross boundaries. Yes, we can. And it can go vice versa with parents as well. So after a certain time in your life, you'll reach a certain age. I'm saying 21 and above, because 19, 20, you don't really have it all together. So 21, and maybe 21, sometimes 25 too. You might not have it all until 25. But if you're living in a space with your older children, and you have to establish, I say, some newer rules in your household, because the older rules pertain to when the child was younger. But as an adult, respecting someone's privacy, you have to respect his or her privacy. I believe that as you get older, man, woman, whatever, that your space, meaning your room, is sacred. So you need your space. You can't just walk into somebody's room unannounced. You can't just take it upon yourself to go rummaging through people's stuff while they're not home. I just think that that's crossing boundaries. You can't make phone calls that's inappropriate, whether it's pertaining to the parent or whether it's pertaining to a child. I believe that that is also crossing boundaries. Now, another example of crossing boundaries is in relationships. Woo! Woo! Boundaries get crossed. The wire, the fence is no longer there. People just do all sorts of things just to prove or try to take dominance over that male or female, and let them know that they are this important in their life. So I will do whatever is necessary to let you know that I'm relevant, or this is who's in your life. Now, what do you mean by that? Sometimes in relationships, a lot of times in relationship, boundaries do get crossed. Whether it's cheating, whether it's financials, whether it's secrecy. Because when it comes down to relationship, I just think it's too many rules. When it comes down to relationship, it's just so many ways boundaries can be crossed. Whether it's speaking to someone about what's going on in your household, whether it's hiding money from your spouse, male or female, whether it's lying, cheating. Those are boundaries that can get crossed, and these are things, sometimes these boundaries have been so overstepped that I don't believe, well, I do believe, but sometimes it can be repaired, but you won't view the person the same way as you did before, because I know that you're capable of doing these things. When it comes down to boundaries, there's different levels to it. When it's pertaining to your family, your immediate family, when it's pertaining to your children, those are two different. When it's pertaining to your spouse, I think that's another form of another relationship, but that's another set of boundaries that has to be in place. Now, how do you create healthy boundaries? I think by expressing to, okay, we're going to start back off with your family. Again, your children, letting them know what's right and wrong, explaining and speaking to them more than yelling at them. People don't understand when you're yelling at them. I can't comprehend if you're yelling at me. Talking to boy or girl, man, talking to them, letting them know you can't do these things, because if you do these things, a person might feel this way. When it pertains to older children, I believe in healthy communication as well, but you also have to respect the fact that, yes, you're an adult, and so we need to communicate on a different level, not as a child. Now, when it comes down to relationship, I think boundaries need to be established from the get-go. If you don't establish certain healthy boundaries down the line of the relationship, it can cause some gray areas, and then We'll be on this podcast discussing issues that have taken place in relationships that boundaries was just crossed by. So, you examine where you at, and you examine what exactly is your boundaries. Do you have any boundaries? Do you understand the importance of having boundaries? You need to have boundaries because, yes, some people might not understand what boundaries are, but some do. And some will push and walk over and cross them just to see how far they can get away with things. I find that mind-boggling. I really do. I find that like you will keep pushing my buttons just to see how I'm going to react. People get a kick out of reaction too, so that's another topic for another day. But setting healthy boundaries from the jump, it will keep peace and order with you and around you. Certain boundaries, I wasn't even taught these things growing up. I didn't really understand boundaries until like recently, when I had to set them. Not only did I have to set them, which goes into my next topic, grieving. Now, you ask me, like, what does grieving have to do with boundaries? Once I started implementing boundaries, I had to stand firm on the boundaries. Meaning you cannot talk to me, you cannot do this, you cannot do X, Y, Z either. Some people, I separated myself, made the whole big announcement, I'm going to erase people. I off my social platforms, not on my phone, and I thought I was doing something. But then I get a phone call and I go right back to where I was, and then I feel some kind of way, and then I'm back to having my boundaries crossed. So, grievance. You have to understand that there are different forms of grievance. Yes, we always speak about grievance when someone passed, but we will need to speak about grievance of when you stand firm on your word. That you may lose your audience, you might lose some people along the way. It happens. You may lose some folks along the way. You have to understand grieving with making good choices. You have to understand that is a process when you decide to... Everything's okay? You have to understand that when you decide to start your healing journey, that you're going to lose some people along the way. You're going to learn new techniques on how to restart life over, because healing, you have to go back and start healing wounds, and you have to go back and learn some good day-to-day skills, right? So when I began to set these boundaries in order, I didn't understand, and I did not want to lose the people that was around me. I didn't understand that. In my eyes, I'm doing this work. I got to get to a better place. I'm tired of repeating the same thing, and I'm tired of going down the wrong channels. I'm tired of just resurfacing old issues. But you're going to lose some people along the way. So I had to be okay with not only losing people along the way, but grieving and understanding that I'm making right decisions that's healthy for me. I'm setting the format and the foundation of having good boundaries. Okay, so I understand and I understand now that I kept repeating the same cycle because I kept allowing certain things to take place. I would say I'm going to do something, I would make a little bit of a move, and I would do X, Y, and Z, and then I'll go right back to that same thing, and about just the comfortability or the familiarity I was okay with. But the moment I decide, this is enough, I understand who you are, I can look at people and just... I understand your energy. This is who you are. Right? Respectfully, I either can't mess with you, or respectfully, I deal with you with a long silver spoon, or respectfully, we just gonna have to respect the fact that we can't cross boundaries again. Right? So, making the right decisions and taking action. That this is a part of my journey. This is a part of the God's plan, the Most High's plan. This is a part of life that I have to go through. Everyone is not going to be in every area, every hour, every minute, every second of your life. It's not going to happen. It could be friends, it could be families, it could be long-term relationships that you might have had. You have to understand when to let go. And stand firm on your word, right? Stand firm on I'm doing this for the embetterment of me, and that there's a bigger goal that I have set for myself. Okay, so live in the chat again. There are more. The numbers are going up. So welcome those that are logging on right now. Also in TikTok land, we are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. I'm also on. We're live on what is this thing? YouTube. So thank you for coming on. I'm your host Shane. This is Coffee Talk, where we speak about trending topics. We are learning different day-to-day issues. We speak about community issues and concerns that take place in our community. So welcome on to those that are chiming on. Thank you. Those on TikTok that are live, I thank you again for coming on. So yes, nice topic. We are discussing our boundaries and grievance. Not grievance of loved ones, but grievance of making the right decisions in our life. And again, we spoke about so far boundaries and what exactly they mean. What do they mean to you? You can send your questions inside the comments. I'm going to catch them and try to respond as possible. Thank you for joining on again. So yes, we're speaking about boundaries and setting healthy boundaries and understanding healthy and unhealthy boundaries. So again, as I tell you always, go ahead and examine where you're at right now. If you're learning these new techniques that we are speaking about and you're just writing them down, you haven't applied them, thank you for coming on, and hopefully you'll grab something that's going to help. Now, I'm not one to destroy anyone's household. I'm not one to mess up anybody's household. If you log it on, you're more to just listen to whatever information that I'm speaking about tonight. Again, I'm going to speak more about grievance and making the right decisions. So collectively, I have my organization, and we collectively are working on something together. I had a conversation earlier with one of my members, and I believe she's the youngest one, and there was some things that she and I was talking about, and the topic she's going to bring forth, or hopefully, I don't know if I might go live. I don't know. I got to ask her because I don't want her to be mad at me. But she's going to speak about friendships, and she's coming forth with that, and she's speaking about how to know when someone has crossed their boundaries with being a friend. And she and I was just dialoguing on different things. She didn't even know that this was my topic for tonight, so sometimes people say stuff to confirm what it is that you're going to speak about tonight. So when it comes down to friendships, now friendships and boundaries, I've had my fair share. I really tried to do the friendship thing. That does not work for me. You have to be on and I say that not in a bad way, it's just that some people are not on the same wave as you. I want to say it like, I don't know how to explain it. Some people don't. I just can't. I wind up I don't have fallouts, but I'll just wind up disconnecting myself from people. Sometimes when you have specific goals or things that you want to do in life, everyone is not meant to be a friend. Maybe an associate, maybe a co-worker, but not someone. When it comes down to friendship, people have no type of loyalty right now. So that's my spew. You examine where you at, but when it comes down to boundaries, sometimes you might have a friend or a bestie who don't support you. That could be a form of overstepping boundaries. You might have friends and every time you go out, they wind up getting into altercations. I can't stand stuff like that, but that is something that does take place. You have friends that talk to you all kind of way, and you might respectfully not like that. That's crossing boundaries. And then you have to make a decision on whether or not you still want to be friends with that person. Or if you're at a point in your life where you accept people just as they are, and nothing shakes me, nothing moves me, I'm just going to accept it, because sometimes we're human. We might not like each other every day. You might have done something to me 5, 6, 10 years ago, and that thing still messes me up today. So you have to, again, go back to the word, grieve over the fact that you're decided to make a healthy decision, that I may either deal with you with a long hand, or I might cut you off. It's nothing personal. Or make a healthy decision for you. Again, this is a healing journey. Again, we are setting this line around us. We have this invisible line around us, and we have to protect our peace at all given times. The way society goes right now, everyone is on that race to being their very best you, but there are levels to this. There's a process to healing. You have to be okay with, again, letting familiar people, places, and things go that completely don't serve you any greater good. I decided when I think it was roughly between last year and this year, I told you I'm new to this boundary thing. When I decided to say, you know what, no more, I straggled the fence, but I'm at a better place. I'm just at this place where I'm just like not fearful or anything. Above the sky is endless limits. I always say that. And so if I see something from the door that's not right, you got to go on the chopping block. you do. I can respectfully not have to speak, or I can respectfully just say yay, because as you're on the healing journey, there's always a group of people that don't care nothing about that, and they just live for the moment. They don't think about the future, and that's just what it is. And so for me and where I'm at, in my collective, in my group, that's where we're rolling together. We are in a point in the space in our life right now where we want to be the very best healthy version of us. And so if that means to put some familiar people, places, things on the chopping block, I will do so with no hesitation. So is there anyone in the chat that have any questions? Thank you again for logging on. Thank you, TikTok. Any questions in there in the chat? Let me see. Oh, I like this. Someone said smart people stand alone. The person that said is actually my mom. So yeah, shout out to her, Jean Win-Sim. Smart people stand alone. Yes. But you know about being smart? The sad part is you don't realize how powerful you are. You do more, go further when you're by yourself, opposed to having extra baggage on the side. When you decide, like I said, to set that boundary around you and stand firm, remember the grievous part that I just spoke about it? It feels lonely. You go through the different emotions with it. You might straddle the fence with it mentally, but know that the picture is greater. Right? Because we can't look at what's going on for the moment right now. When I decided to set boundaries for myself on starting last year, I did not think the things that I'm able to accomplish this year would have taken. Because, we are emotional people. I don't know. We be like, oh, it's the end of the world. I don't have this person around me. If it's a family friend, or I can't believe. And when you go through the theatrics and the emotional roller coaster for absolutely no reason. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I just add you in? Take this off. I'm sorry. 1 second, guys. I am on TikTok. I apologize, hon. Alright, sorry, I'm on TikTok. I'm on all social platforms. So yeah, we go through the theatrics and we're sitting up here like I decided to stand up for myself. I decided I'm going to walk this walk by myself. One thing I think my mom says, I stand. When you make these decisions, stand on your word. So when you decide to put that invisible fence up around you, stand on that. Don't straggle along the fence. Don't go back and forth. Know that there's a bigger picture. You might not be able to see the picture. Me cutting this person off, I might be the next millionaire by doing away with dead weight. People change daily. That process, we can't stop us. We change daily. Being on this healing journey, we change daily. But one thing that I know for me, in my healing process, not only am I changing, I'm changing for the better, but I am more equipped to setting my boundaries and losing people, places, and things that no longer serve me. Good evening. An emotional bond. Okay. Some people come into your life for a season. Yeah, thank you, Miss Sandra. So yes, thank y'all. Y'all so good in the chat. Thank you for logging on. This is your host, Shane from Coffee Talk. Thank you everyone for logging on. So yes, some people come into your life for a season. And what I'm learning about the season is, I don't know what type of person this is that's coming into my life. Whether it's a lesson, or is it a lesson, or yeah, it has to be a lesson. Meaning, am I supposed to learn something? Are you supposed to throw me off my guard? Are you supposed to, what are you in my season for? Not longevity, but what are you in? So I'm looking at things in a different manner than what I did before. And it's only through setting boundaries with people. If I'm attached to you, okay, am I here to help you? Are we here to do something together? Are we here to build? Will there be trials and tribulations? Or are you here because I just have this energy about me where you want to be attached to me? And you just see wonderful things happen to me, so you just automatically feel me and you supposed to grow together. Examine where you at right now with that. You know your life story. Examine where you're at. Yes, make the decision and stand on it. Blessings. Emotional bond. Well, let me tell you something about that. Emotional anything. That is sometimes hard to break apart. If it's no good, if it's not serving you purpose. Now, some of you guys might be on this journey to where you go through. How to explain it so I won't get flagged on Facebook, but on TikTok we can speak about it freely. Emotional bond. I'm stuck with somebody, or I have a bond. I always speak about binds and bonds and oaths in my class, which are not good. That's the invisible seal that I have with someone. So if someone is going against my peace or doing something, not only behind my back, I'm going to feel it. That's what being intuitive and healing, you're going to pick up your spider senses. You're going to understand what intuition and your discernment and all these wonderful things take place that God is going to give you or increase. You're with that person. It doesn't always have to be a relationship. It could be family, familiar family, people, places, and things. I always say that. But you have this bond now. If that person is on an emotional roller coaster, they're up and down. It could be their job, it could be their family members, it could be their children, whatever it is. If y'all are bonded together, you're going to feel that. And your life will start spiraling up and down as well, because y'all are bonded together. Now, different ways that you can't be bonded together. Again, if you have children, if you are in a marriage, because that is a secret seal that's you're locked in together. Through relations, we're going to keep it PG. Those are ways that you can be binded with someone. So say like right now we are speaking about your healing journey, and for some odd reason you know that there's really nothing going on in your life. Everything is good. You're setting these healthy boundaries. You're doing the work. You're understanding the language. You're trying to heal childhood trauma. You're trying to go forward because you got to be the very best you in order for you to be the very best for your children, your family, your job, or your career, your business, whatever it is. And all of a sudden you're attached to someone, people, place, or thing, and you know that they're chaotic and all over the place. Because you guys have that emotional bond, you're going to feel what he or she feels. And how do you know? Because you started this thing called healing journey, and then you started laying down foundational bricks. So you started using terms like doing the healing work, self-reflection, transformation, boundaries, grievance, making decisions and standing on it, not grievance of someone passing, but standing on old ways of thinking. And that person, that person, people, place, the thing is not doing the same thing, and they're stuck along right beside you. Yes, my mom just said in the chat, don't allow people to use your gift for personal gain. You have to really have like real keen discernment on what it is and whom is attaching. It could be an environment. Maybe you're someplace and it's time for you to move, and you know that every time you're in this environment, things just not flowing. You know, your cash flow is not coming, your business is not coming, your children are not doing well in school, whatever it might be. It's a spiral effect. Okay, so those are some things. Thank you again on live. I am live on all social platforms. Thank you, TikTok land. Thank you, Facebook land, on all the groups, and thank you, YouTube land. So yes, any questions that you might have in the chat, I can go deep in with this, but being that this is on Facebook and I'm going to start going live from TikTok, I try to monitor what I say, but I can go deep and like my sister said, you really got to show them how deep you can go. But for right now, we're going to keep it this way, and I thank you all that did chime in. Good evening. Hey, thank you so much for chiming on. Does anyone in the chat have any questions, cares or concerns, or they want to add on to more what we are discussing? Again, we're talking about boundaries, healthy and unhealthy, and we're talking about grievance as far as losing people, places, and things after you decide to make the right decision and stand firm on your healthy boundaries that you have set. Blessings. Is this my ace in the chat? So I'm just checking to see if anyone have any questions. Again, if you did not catch this live and you want to add on more, it will be uploaded to all my platforms on TikTok and on YouTube and Spotify on tonight, and I will increase my content more. Thank you so much for all of those that have been giving me positive feedback. Thank you for those that sit back, watch, and get mad because every time I come on you see this chocolate. I thank you for those haters as well. I thank you for all of those. So yes, again tonight I want you to again take your pen, your paper out, your journal. Begin to start to journal. Ask yourself, do I have some boundaries, healthy boundaries? Have I ever crossed boundaries and pertaining to someone else, people, place, and things? Do I have the right foundation where I am at in my life right now? Can I accept where I'm at in my decision making? Am I doing the work? Not only have I, but am I doing the work of making these right decisions? And what exactly does the right decisions look like? How do I know I'm doing this? How do I know? One of the things that you know and you will know in this whole transformation journey that we have going on is you'll be at peace. You know what this thing called peace looks like? It's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. Things flow. Money flow. My sleep flow. My patterns flow. I'm always in alignment. I feel I'm in a good space. It's an unfilmed personal. Rate your personal inventory. Is that what you're saying? Personal inventory. You on point tonight. Thank you guys. That's my mom in the live chat right now. Take personal inventory. Thank you. Take your personal inventory. And ask yourself. And let me tell you something with this. Don't beat yourself up. TikTok land, do not beat yourself up. If you don't know where to start off with, we'll say today, this week, with the boundaries. Sit down and examine whether or not I have laid a foundation where I'm always going to protect my peace, my space, my mental health, and just who I am. Also, with that protection, I'm always talking about the children because the children tag along with us. Our children, our immediate family, people, places, and things. I have to be the very best version of me. And if you have to relocate and move, begin that process as well. Sometimes you do have to relocate from where you at to get to this place called peace. So yes, take your personal inventory. Do not be mad at yourself. These are words and terms that we did use last week. The mood swings will take place. You might have anger. Your insomnia, your insecurities might spike up as well. You might hold on to your grudges, and these are just terms that we use. So start that. Examine where you at. Journal. I'm huge on journaling. I'm huge on poetry. I'm huge on meditation. I'm huge on all these things that I just listed. Examine yourself. And it is okay to say, I want healthy boundaries. I need healthy boundaries. I'm going to stand on that. And you decide to make that decision and stand firm on that. You guys are chit-chatting over here. Any questions? Okay, so I want you guys to stay tuned. We will be on next Friday. We have a special guest that you have seen me promoting. His name is James Rosa. He has a foundation called the Rosa Foundation. They are based in North Carolina. I would like for everybody to tune in. He has 2 events that's coming up in his community. I'm going to air it. It's the Rosa Foundation International. So I've been promoting them all this week on my timelines and all of the platforms. I want you guys to stay tuned. He is coming from North Carolina, so he's going to speak and expound more about his foundation, the events that he do have coming up, and hopefully that all that's on that we're able to support him in any way that we can. So let me close that out, and I'm going to continue to post that. How do you learn practice to let go? That takes a while. That's not a fly by night. That's not a fly by night. The ways that I can advise, and this is just my term and the way that I do things. One, you have to accept what has taken place. You have to accept that a person may grow, a person may not grow, but you have to accept what has happened, right? Ask yourself, are you ready to let this whatever go? Because we might say I want to let something go, but we might hold on, and the next day we feel emotional, the next day we're going to cry, and then a week later we're going to pick it up. Ask yourself, is this something that you want to let go? 2, ask yourself, you're talking to yourself right now, you're assisting yourself, you're taking inventory with yourself. Identify the hurt emotions that you are going through. They are valid. One thing about your healing and your journey and accepting and letting go of people, places, things that no longer serve you, the way you view the situation or whatever it might be, that person, place, or thing might not see it that way. People might say you're overreacting. Okay, familiar people, places, things might say you're overreacting. You have to accept that with letting go, I have to let it go. Me. The person might not see it that way, right? So then, I always say have some type of foundation. I don't know what your spiritual sense are, whatever your spiritual foundation is. If you go to church, if you go to a temple, whatever your foundation might be, stand on that foundation. Now I'm not telling you to quote every Bible scripture or go to every mass that you need. I'm not telling you to do it. Just have some type of a foundation that you can hold on to. 2, daily say positive things about yourself, because what it is you have to accept whatever took place. And with accepting, again, the person might not see it through their eyes. You might see it in one way, they might see it another. Also, you have to understand that person has space and time to grow. That's the thing they don't talk about. That person has time to grow. So a year later, 10 years later, the trauma and the hurt that that person might have gave you, this is why it's so important to let it go. That person might heal and they might not live their life that way, but they left that emotional stain on you. They're entitled to heal and to grow. Unfortunately, you have to let these things wither away. Also, writing and journaling. Staying around healthy people, places, and things. If you're one of those that cannot sit by yourself because my thoughts are going to consume me, I'm going to fall into depression, my anxiety is going to increase, hang around and try to stay around things that bring you peace and joy. It is not always being around your children. That's another thing we have to stop doing, because if we're still hurt and broken, how in the world am I giving 150 or 2,000% of myself to my children? So one, the emotional highs and lows and the fluctuations that you're feeling, you're going to feel those ways. You're going to go through that process because you're going to do away with it. The thing about it is to sit in it, get the lessons learned, allow yourself to say this happened, it wasn't my control, but moving forward. So you're going to begin to speak over yourself. You're going to begin to set these healthy boundaries that whatever caused me to have to move on from familiar people, places, and things, it will not happen again. Yes. Anyone else in the chat have questions? Yes? Did I answer that to my best? And again, it's a process. So the amount of time that it took you to be in that situation, that's why the exiting out is not going to be like that. People will say, oh, I'm not talking to that person, so you stopped. Okay, so you might have stopped communication. People really good for that. Me and that person don't speak no more. The stain, the emotional trauma, the baggage that's behind it, and then this person moves on. I don't know what the person, people, place, thing have done. Yes, I do believe in karma. It will get served. Anything unresolved will resurface. Do not take that baggage with it. Do not sit there and wait for that person to see if they're going to fall down the rabbit hole. Don't do none of these things, because now you decide that I said that I'm going to let go. And so since I'm going to let go, whatever that person, place, or thing is going through, that's on them. Is that good? And forgive yourself along the way. Say that. You know, life doesn't come with an instruction manual. It really, really doesn't. It's like trial and error. And we keep hearing error and void. Void and all. Restart over. Oh, self-doubt, pity, all of the above. Those things you have to take it out your vocabulary, because it's just you got to take it out your vocabulary. Do know that you're going to get past it. You're going to be the very best version of you, and you're going to pass on that information. What a lot of us, we was not taught a lot of these things growing up. We wasn't. We was told to go to school. I told you Disney messed me up. Go to school, go to college. I was going to get a house, husband, children, business owner, and travel. The lies that was told on my little heart. Okay, so one thing I want to say before I close out or we end this podcast, and again I thank you all for coming on for Coffee Talk, and yes, we will be extended as of this week. So if you can't catch me on this platform, if I do not go live, you can also catch me on Spotify. I will be on my link. As you can see, go down my page, you can see the link, and you'll hear more dialogue. I thank you everyone for your feedback, the questions that are coming in, the emails that are coming in. Thank you for your support, the donations and the gifting. Thank you, because we are growing. Okay, this whole process of this journey, it could be a lifetime. It could take a lifetime. We can't look at the next person or what they got going on, because we don't know what happens behind closed doors. Sometimes you think people got their whole household made, and it wouldn't happen to me. And I got my career. A lot of us got careers. A lot of us got businesses, but we don't have a healthy foundation. We have to do more in the work. We have to walk on faith and not on fear. It's just some things that we want to be our very best us, and sometimes we are our worst critics. We stop us. We stop us. Okay, above the sky is endless limits. Not the limit is the sky. No, above it. I believe it's more out there. I believe if I'm one of those, I think one time I remember my dad said, "You're so unstable." I said, "No, I'm not. I have a career. I have my children. Everything went backwards, whatever worked. If I decide today I want to start selling teddy bears, I'm going to start selling teddy bears." I remember years back, I told my mother, I said, "I'm going to start a clothing line." She looked at me and said, "Okay." I did a clothing line. It was told to my mom I would be a teacher. She said, "Okay, I'm a teacher." I said, "I'm going to open up a coffee shop." Open up a coffee shop. Above the skies is endless. I don't ever want to be one of those people who say shoulda, coulda, woulda. Never going to say shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm going to be the very best version of me. I'm going to continue the healing journey. That quote that says, "I am my ancestors' wildest dream." I think my ancestors is like, okay, she's doing way more than what we ever do, so we're just going to continue to protect her. You understand? So there's some things that you have to get right in order for you to walk this walk in which you are. So I have to have some healthy boundaries. I have to know when to let people go. I have to be able to see people for who it is or what they are, and I have to accept that maybe that people, place, and things did not work. Okay, I'm gonna get past this. Okay, and I have to accept that every season it might be a solo season, just me and the Most High, or the Most High me. I have to accept that. I have to accept sometimes, alright, it's time for a vacation. It's time to go move. It's time to sit still. It's time to turn left and right. It's time to hold the plate. It's time not to drink this one or drink that, or it's time to eat that. It's just, you have to accept just where that is. Life is going to continue to move. And sometimes I think the way the Most High have it is, he'll get you so uncomfortable till you have to do the healing work. You have to. That's the conflict that happens. He will just make you so uncomfortable. So, that's my little spew. My daughter's telling me to wrap it up because it's almost an hour. So again, I thank you all for chiming on. Yes, the Cash App is up in there. If you feel like gifting it or donating, I thank you for all. Those that give behind the scenes, thank you so much, because we are expanding. Look for great things. Yes, I told you about our special guest that's coming on Friday. You will see the advertisement, because I think I'm going to go ahead live one more time. People are asking me to increase the time frame. It's not that I can't. It's my schedule is tight during the week, so I'll see what I can do. But we will keep you posted. Continue to have more hosts. Continue to speak about trendy topics. And I thank everyone for logging on. Again, it's Friday. Go enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Drink water and mind your business. Until next week.